What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mr. Straight Facts Show. I am Mr. Straight Facts. Hope you guys had a good day. A lot of stuff on my mind. We're going to get it in. One of the first things that is on my mind today is how our country, which I named this video, this live, President Trump loses and well, not Trump, America loses and Trump takes a victory lap. Now let me explain this to you. Trump and his minions have been on social media and Fox, their propaganda wing, discussing what this China deal has been. Right? They're going to get 12 million metric tons or sell that soybeans to China. Okay. That's up until, I guess, January. And from 3 years on, it's going to be 25 million metric tons sold or bought from our farmers or from the United States. Okay. All right. Now, let's just listen to Scott Bessent kind of tell you what I just told you. Just let's listen to him. He's the one who went out bragging about this. What's up, Dennis? I see you. Let's go ahead and get him in on it real quick.
So the Chinese have agreed to buy 12 million metric tons of soybeans during this season. Right now, between now and the should be January, and then for the next 3 years, they're going to be buying a minimum of 25 million metric tons per annum for the next 3 years.
All right, so 25 million for the next 3 years, and for this year, for the rest of it, which means the October, November, December, they're buying 12 million. Okay. Now, this sounds like, oh, they came to an agreement. They made a deal. You're like, oh, okay. So finally, they made a deal with all this tariff shit and everything with China. And yet, though, tariffs are still high to China. He dropped it to like 40-something% or something like that. It was way over that. Had 100 or something at one point. But so tariffs are pretty much high still. And you got 12 million for the farmers, 25 million every year for 3 years after that. What do we give them? They're probably not going to pay the same amount they paid for the the millions that they bought this past year. Because you got to think about it. We went this entire year with them not buying any soybeans from them, from us rather, which they bought majority of our soybeans. Now they're only going to come up with 12 million. Sounds like a lot. But do you know how much we used to sell to them before this tariff started? See, this is the answer to all the BS, right? This is why I say America lost and Donald Trump and his minions are out here taking a victory lap. It says 12 million for the next 3 months. Not even 3 months. It's November 1st almost now. So for the next 2 months, the 12 million, trying to make up for what the farmers lost. You know they're still going to go out of business, or at least go through some hell for a while, because the 12 million is not going to be as good as they thought it was going to be. Why? Because they sold more than that the previous year. All this crap Donald Trump put them through, they've lost over 14 trillion metric tons. 14 million metric tons. They lost that. They're not even getting half of it back. So yeah, farmers are going to be still going through hell. How are they going to choose between all these farmers which ones are going to get what? Who knows? But again, they not all of them, but many of them chose this. But they said 25 million metric tons for 3 years on out. America, they used to buy 26 million and more. 26 million metric tons is what we normally would get from them or more every year. So they went to Korea, met with President Xi, and came out like, oh, we got a great deal. And you came out with 1 million metric tons less than you did before you threw on these dumbass tariffs. Oh, and guess what they got? They got access to the chips that America wasn't selling them on purpose, because with the cheaper chips, they still kicking our ass in AI. Now they're getting the more higher end chips because of this leveraged deal that they got with us. So let me get this straight. We lost 1 million metric tons, and China wasn't even in on this. Like, we don't want to deal with this shit like that. We don't want to be like in a trade war. But they played the game, and again, Donald Trump, Candyland. President Xi, three-dimensional chess. He won, hands down. He won, hands down. Donald Trump looked dopey when he shook the hand of the president. He looked dopey. It was, y'all, did I get that picture? Let me see if I got that. Oh, I was highly upset, y'all. I was like, why on earth do we have this guy as president? Why? Why us? What did we do? God, what did we do? What did we do wrong? Because I don't know why we have the dopiest fucking president known to frickin' man. We got him. What did we do wrong? I mean, if you see this picture, he looked like a mix between, I want to say, a Three Stooges, Curly, and Dopey. I can't understand. I can't fathom what America, like the good Americans, what did we do wrong to deserve this dipshit as president? I just don't get it. I'm going to show it to you. I got it right here. Look at Dopey. Look at him. President Xi looked cool and collected. Got a little bit of half a smile. Just saying, I suckered the shit out this dumbass. And this dumbass is all super excited. Looking like... That's what he looks like. Plain and just simple dipshit. Like he ate boogers with jam as a kid. I mean, spice it up. Stupidity with flair. How in the hell we went in this before we even had this little bullshit tariff war this fool tried to set up? Before we even had that, we were on top. We were on top. We had leverage. What did Donald Trump do other than show our weakness? What did he do to show? Where's our strength at? Before Donald Trump did this, we had a perceived strength. We didn't need China as much as they said we needed them. We didn't appear to see that we needed. Even though we bought everything from them, we had a certain type of power that was perceived. And now, it's out in the open that we don't have that leverage. Now, every country can look at the model that China just set and say their weakness is their soybeans. We got to get in somehow to destroy that, or some kind of dealing with their soybeans, and boop, we get what we want. or they don't get what they want. Whichever way it goes, they saw the weakness of America. They literally saw Donald Trump be the most dumbest, simpest, dipshittiest person you ever seen on the fucking planet that's supposed to be leading the country. And these dudes are all in love with Sir Dipshit. I don't, like I said, it's frustrating realizing that people who actually went to school and worked their ass off to get A's are being led by the dipshit that could study all night long and get a straight F and then turn around and say, look, I got an F. That's better than an A. Fucking country you from? What are you talking about? He got these people thinking an F student is better than an A student. When you study shit, that means you know shit. When you guess shit and make shit up means you don't know shit. You just make shit up. Donald Trump is out here making deals, saying that he's the best deal maker. How are you the best deal maker when you lost 1 million? 1 million metric tons. They were buying 26 and above. So at the very minimum, you lost 1 million tons with this bullshit you tried. And you're just doing it because you're desperate. President Xi saw it. You're desperate to have a win because you've been having loss after loss after loss after loss after loss after loss because you don't know how to win. The only thing you win at is lying and getting racist white men empowered. I give you that. I give you the credit on that. You got this country so twisted into believing that just being white made you right. And being white and racist made you powerful. And somehow in this damn country, we allowed that shit. Never in a billion years would I think that someone as dumb as Trump could literally lead anything. I wouldn't hire him to wash my underwear. I wouldn't. I mean, he literally thinks he did something by losing 1 million metric tons. That's for 3 years going down. And here's the thing: this fool, Scott Bessent, said, you know, that's like the a minimum of 25 million. Well, you want to listen to him, but according to Barron, an organization, or Barron's, you'll see that we'll read it. Dopey ass says that China might be like it's more like might see the 25 million as more of a ceiling than a floor, which means China's more likely thinking 25 million is the max that we're gonna buy from y'all. Because you got to remember, now they're getting their soybeans from other countries like Brazil and Argentina. Right? So let's think about this for a second. Before, China was dependent on us for 26 million plus metric tons of soybeans. Okay? Always getting it from us every year. Like we the best at it, I guess. I don't know, but it's getting it from us every year. Decades getting it from us. Donald Trump throws on a tariff war and starts losing people. He starts losing people, y'all. People start falling off and going to Japan, going to Brazil, going to Argentina, going overseas in other places. Canada's leaving, going to other places. England, Europe, they're going other places to get this shit, y'all. And you think they're going there temporarily? Our country has been flaking left and right. What countries need is stability. They can't be relying on America flip-flopping all. You're the leader. Think about this. We were the leaders. Still are to some degree. But not with this dipshit. Give him 3 more years and it's a wrap. It is a wrap. Why do you need? Only thing we got is weapons. What we're going to do? Bomb everybody to death? This fool has weakened us. We ain't stronger. Where are we stronger at? Out here killing people on the high seas for what? Just because we can. Talking about drugs that ain't nowhere near America. For the most part. And then not telling anybody why they're doing it. Hiding it. No justification for it. What's to hide if you got justification? I can understand you trying to hide it from, the country in which you're bombing. But from the oversight committees, the ones you should have got permission before you bomb somebody, hiding it from them does what? You're hiding it from American people. At least the people that we entrusted and sent to office to represent us, you're hiding it from them. Therefore, effing over the American people for your own gain. How the hell is this not treasonous? This man is possibly, he's acting like we're in war with another country, that we're out there bombing them because we're in war with them. When did we go to war? When did we declare war? We didn't. The House has a purse. They're not funding this shit, so where's it coming from? Why is our country at war, but nobody is like in arms that this fool said we're at war with somebody? But how? You're bombing some innocent people, as far as we know. You think we're going to trust you that they were actually moving drugs? No. They got an ad out talking about that same thing, saying, we're DOJ and all this. We're trying to get all these, illegal immigrants out, trying to keep America safe and blah, 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 blah. I don't understand how that is so, when none of us felt like we weren't safe until you guys started hitting the streets. I mean, regular crime, just regular ass crime that happens in our cities and our states. That's a war against that. Every state, just about except for red states, crime is going down. Red states have been going up. And yet this fool hasn't sent it to any red states. I think he sent it to one red state, but it was a blue city in a red state. If you don't see what he's trying to do or what he is doing, don't try to it. This man is setting it up so that it becomes comfortable that you see military people in the streets regulating us like we some kind of third world fucking country. That you start to see them snatching people up and taking them and do nothing about it. So when it comes time to vote, they're going to be at every community that has people of color in it. Latin, black, immigrants that have a right to vote because they're now citizens. They're going to be doing their best to snatch you up, pass the election, and then say, oh, my bad. We fucked up. You're an American citizen. If you don't see this play that they're playing, like I said, go pay attention to history. Hitler and others did these exact same things as far as putting military on the streets so that people couldn't really vote or were afraid to come out and vote, and only counting their people and taking military control over voting areas so that they go in and throw away everybody else's vote and keep all of Donald Trump's vote. This is the shit that they're trying to do. This is the shit that's been going on in other countries, and Donald Trump is mimicking all of it. And we're just sitting here. Our people, our representatives are acting like it's not happening. I know they're going to court, but they're not taking it further because they're worried about people thinking that they're, a little bit too far out there. Or they're thinking too, dramatic and all this other stuff like that. No, that's exactly what happens when a dictatorship takes over. Too many like stupid ass people sit there and think like, oh, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. And then when it happens, like, how'd that happen? Because your ass sat around saying it's not gonna happen. You need to fight for it while it's still here. Once it's gone, where's the fight? Some of the dumbest shit ever seen. Fighting after you lost the battle. I hear you learning to love myself. Our weapons quality will decline next. They fired all of the smart people. This is what I'm saying. I 100% agree with learning to love myself, 5011. If you're telling us that the smart people are no longer smart and the idiots are the ones that are smart, that have the merit, what's going to happen when you put the idiots in control? Will they be able to do the work? No. How can you do the work when you really don't know how to do it? And if you don't know what's going on, even if you hire somebody, how do you know if they know what they need to do quality-wise or skill-wise if you have no inkling of what it is they do? You don't know if it's going to work or not because you have no clue. You're not learned in that area. Look at Pete Hegseth. This man is an alcoholic, weekend anchor. Never in a million years would I think that somebody of that ilk would literally be the head of anything leading this fucking country. The military? It baffles me. I look at this and I'm like, why on earth don't we have like a ripcord to pull and say, it's a bad, it's bad seeds all around. We eject. We got some law, something, 25th Amendment, whatever it is. Go. You do not meet the qualifications. At some point in time, we have to sit there and say they don't meet the qualifications for this shit. Bring somebody else as a Republican in. I don't care. That dude does not meet the qualifications for this shit. The last time he killed 1 million people being a president because he didn't know how to manage his way out of a fucking wet paper bag. And now he's doing the exact same thing over again. These idiots never learn. President Xi, China, won and we lost. They got the chips, in which now, when they get these chips, they'll be able to surpass us already with the cheaper chips now. They've already been coming out with AI programs that's been whipping our ass and keeping it free, right? Or at least to the most part, keeping it free. Not only has it been whipping our ass as far as our technology-wise, they had the cheaper chips. We was forcing them to be behind us because they had the cheaper chips. Now they're capable of getting higher end chips. They're going to excel beyond our freaking wildest dreams with this shit. And we got what? 1 million metric tons less than we got before we started it. This is a lose all the way the fuck around. I want to know where the win is. I'm trying to figure it out. Scott Bassett was on Fox Business or whatever, spreading this information. I'm like, that's a loss. That's a loss. Where's the win at? Where's the win at? And the thing that kills me, Maria Bartiromo, whatever the fuck her last name is, Bartiromo. Ma'am, why didn't you do your homework? He said he got 25 million. You should have been like, but we've received 26 and above. So how is this a win, Scott? Well, we got something as opposed to nothing. No, we had something before you started this, and I would think you would have a strategy. 90 deals in 90 days is well past 90 days, and this right here is not a fucking deal. It's a loss. You got back 1 million less than you actually had prior to. Had you just asked them to buy 30, and we'll give you the chips that you've been asking for, you probably would have got that and would have been way ahead. But you went scorched earth And now you're back to square one. And actually, you're behind the square one by 1 million. Jesus Christ, man. I don't understand this. Why? I look at this and I'm like, man, am I missing something? I mean, is there like some shit that I just can't see? I mean, could we possibly have these people be this stupid? And every time I keep looking up and I even try to look up shit to see if they right. You know what I'm saying? I don't try to be like making them wrong at all. I'm like, is he right about this? Because it seems like it could be just to play devil's advocate. And every answer is coming out like, hell no, he ain't right on this. It talked about how we showed our hand, how we showed them where our weaknesses are. The only strengths that came out of it or positives was that we went from 0 to 12 million, then to 25 million year after year. And he showed China that he's willing to F up America to get what he wants from China. But he didn't get shit from him. Those are the only things that they consider to be possible wins, just to show the strength of, I'll do whatever I want to do to America, to my own people, to get what I want out of you. And that still is effed up because he didn't get anything. He got less than he wanted. All the other stuff is we lost on the soybeans, of course. We haven't gotten fully back any of the other stuff that we were negotiating with them. It's just the farmers that he tried to help out because, again, he's getting his ass ate up in America over this farmer stuff. And he's trying to bring that back to them. All the while, 2 days from now, a shit ton of Americans are going to go hungry. And you know people got to go. This is what I haven't heard people talk about. This is what I haven't heard people talk about. Anybody, I don't know, maybe you have. People aren't going to go hungry. I'm going to tell you this. They're not going to go hungry. That's not going to be the first thing. Survival mode is going to kick in. They're going to eat, right? They're going to eat. But what they're going to also, what it's going to fuck up with everything else is they're going to be selling everything they got to get food. They're going to be not paying their mortgage, their rent, so they could eat. So then that's going to cause another, like domino effect of other things not being taken care of. So if other things aren't being taken care of, that means the housing market is going to take a hit. That means the automobile industry is going to take a hit, and the light industry is going to take a hit because everybody's going to be like, we eating, okay? The hell if we ain't going to have food. If my car's out there, we're going to have to sell it. Or my video games, we're going to have to sell that. You're going to get food, but it's going to cost everything else. You're not going to pay your light bill. You're not going to pay all these other things, which is going to have a domino effect. Nobody's talking about that. I've been watching throughout the day. Nobody's talking about the fact that on November 1st, people ain't paying their rent. They're going to eat. People are going to pay their car payment. They're going to eat. They're going to get behind on shit because they are going to eat. Without food, what the fuck do you need a car for? What do you need an apartment for? What do you need any of this shit you got for? What do you need that nice watch you got? Why do you need that shit if you can't eat? You don't. You're going to sell it. So those are the things that's going to happen. It's going to piss people to fucking high heaven that they got to sell their fucking watch for a Big Mac. But it's going to happen. They're not paying attention to that aspect of it. And that's going to be a lasting, longing, how would I say, make up a word, pistivity that they just won't want to understand. They just don't want to understand it. It's going to frighten the shit out of them When you put people in a corner where they got to give away everything that they got to start selling shit if the shit lasts long enough. But on November 1st, somebody's selling something to get their food or not paying a bill. It's more likely not paying a bill first. If this shit keeps continuing month after month, and by April or May, oh yeah, there's going to be a few assassination attempts. That's just going to happen. Just people are just going to flip the fuck out. And I don't know if that's what he wants, so that he can say, oh, not eminent domain, but just say that it's under a war-torn situation and we can't even, have another president for another 10 years. I believe that's their plan. I don't know, but I believe that's their plan because, like Steve Bannon said, there are other ways to become president. He can't be elected. That automatically told you that they have a plot, some kind of scheme to fuck with Americans, so therefore they can get what they want. If that's to shoot us, to beat us, to get us to fight, and therefore start a tiny little war against each other, then boom, the president has to stay in place. That's the last resort, I believe. Everything else is about cheating. And if the cheating doesn't work, they have all the people set up, military people set up in every state to start a little war with all of us, just so they can keep power. And the fucked up part about it, the Republicans are in on this shit. Yeah. If you're a Republican and voted for them, they're in on destroying this country for their benefit, and F you. You're going to end up going hungry. You're going to end up going broke. You're going to have to sell shit that you love, your prized possessions, if this shit continues. People don't listen. They just don't listen. It's real life. Definitely, Jay. Was it Jay's Collectibles? It's real life. These are the things that they're really effing with. And we're acting like Americans are not really taking heed that, hey, they're doing too much. And when somebody's doing too much, there's something there. Way too much. Of course, the Jeffrey Epstein files. Those should come out. There was a letter sent out to Mike Johnson and their crew by the survivors of Epstein, telling him to open it back up and to the lady who actually won, Grijalva. She was elected and she needs to be signed in. But Mike Johnson's still playing the game like it's the Democrats' fault that we don't have this, that, and the third. And it's like, dude, I don't know what polls you're looking at. You might be looking at light polls, electric polls, but you ain't looking at polls from the people. Every poll that's been out there has been talking about this is like anywhere between 56 to 80% Republicans. I haven't seen one poll. Now, maybe I missed it. Maybe it came out today, but I have seen no poll that is literally saying it's all Democrats' fault. And then there's what's that name? S.E. Cupp. She put out a video and said something to the effect of the Democrats are losing on this one. They're just going to lose. Not that I want them to lose, but they're just losing on it. I'm like, where do you get your information from? I mean, do you really listen to the people, or is it that you just go off of Republicans or dipshit.org? I mean, where do you get this shit from? I don't give two shits if a Republican or every person in this fucking country is pissed off that, and they blaming the Democrats for it. I'm like, who's empowered? That would be Republicans. Okay, so if Democrats said yes, you lose all your health care. 4 to 6 million, you guys lose your health care. The rest of us, the rest of the multiple millions upon millions that are on it, our shit's going to go up sky high. And then Democrats doing that to protect your health care, your life. The Republicans have every opportunity to move money around to help you, but they choose not to. S.E. Cupp, that's the Democrats' fault that they can't move money around to help? SC Cup, is it the Democrats' fault that the Republicans are on a 1 month vacation, literally not having to work, literally getting their full fucking paycheck, and nowhere near Washington D.C. to negotiate shit? Even if Democrats wanted to say something, they're not even there to do anything. They left and they are not negotiating. The only people left there are the Senate. That's the Democrats' fault. I'm getting sick and tired of these people and this country for that matter, to be able to listen to stupid shit and seriously start falling down in line with them saying, oh yeah, Democrats should be losing on this one. And I'm like, you don't look at any ounce of fact. I'm even starting to see news anchors on MSNBC and others literally asking the Democrats basically to fold, because don't you want to make a good deal for everybody? You know, they could push this past. So have you seen them make a good deal with anybody? It's either them or the highway. You literally think these Republicans who can't negotiate the people eating, that they're going to sit down with the Democrats and come up with something? It could be sitting down to them right now coming up with something. They chose our way or the highway, and they chose the highway. They left. So how do you negotiate with somebody who doesn't stay around to negotiate? I mean, it would be in good faith if they were sitting there across from each other, having debate after debate, having vote after vote, and not coming up with something. But they're not. That's not the House. The Senate's doing their thing, but the House is gone. Have been gone for over a month. Since September sometime. And she gets on and says, Democrats are losing it. How, pray tell, are they losing it? I hate it when people sit there and say they're losing it, but they don't give you a reason why. I've been doing this so long. SE Cup, we don't know you of doing shit for so long. We saw you on that one show years ago with it was a few of y'all sitting around. Other than that, we don't know what the fuck you do. And you could be doing this shit your entire life and be great about it, but your mouth ain't opened up and gave us anything that we look at you and be like, oh, she's great at it. Not at all. Not one fucking thing. So I don't get where you haven't decided on who was going to be the president. And you never depicted. You haven't done that. Society, we haven't seen it. Behind the scenes, I don't know what you bet on. You may have betted on this and got it right, and you may be 100% behind the scenes. But in front of everybody's face, we just see you. And nothing comes out. Other than the fact that somehow you're still on television and irrelevant as fuck. Irrelevant. Nothing you say, nobody gives a shit about. But you always come off the cuff with some wild ass shit, and it never pans out. But you think it does, so obviously somewhere in your life something happened. That somebody that told you that it worked out. But regardless, these Republicans are so good at gaslighting and projection. It's freaking ridiculous. They would sit there and give somebody like Donald Trump credit for shit he deserves no credit for. He completely lost with China. And this is not the first loss. When he first threw out the tariffs, he thought they were just going to capitulate and come to him in 90 days. Those 90 days passed. Oh, we're going to go another 90 days. Those 90 days passed. Oh, we're going to go another 90. Those 90 days passed. Months and months and months go by. Nothing. Not a peep. So funny is that you didn't see President Xi bring up Donald Trump's fucking name. He had his country just doing his thing. People ask him about Donald Trump, but you didn't see him no press conference. Well, Donald Trump, this. No, this motherfucker played Donald Trump like a fucking harp. Didn't say shit about him. He played him like somebody, a one-night stand. He looked at him like, okay, I ain't calling you back until I need something from you. And Donald Trump's like, oh, I'm going to talk to him, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. And President Xi, and President Xi, and President Xi, and President Xi ain't said shit about him. He's the one that looks like the stalker, the one that needs attention and he's not getting it, so he has these little tantrums. That's the weakness in Trump. They think it's strength. How? This man plays you like a harp. And you're the one looking all dumpy and shit in the picture, and he looks like cool, calm, and collected. You look like the village fucking idiot, and he looks like a fucking scientist. It's giving. These Republicans will say and do anything to keep this man in power, even if they don't like him. They'll go out and tell you, I think he's winning. How do you think he's winning? Amongst you people, yeah. Amongst racist white people whom y'all say are not racist. They're Republican, they're not racist. I'm like, you can say what the fuck you want to say. But you will never catch me seeing that somebody, if this racist said, we're going to give everybody $1 million. Just vote for me and everybody gets $1 million. I still wouldn't vote for the racist as I got morals. I'll look at him like, I ain't getting no money from this trick ass person. What the fuck? I'd rather be broke than get money by this racist prick. See, you guys don't have that type of morals. These Republicans don't have that shit. They'll take the money. They're the types that if he did that, they're straight. They still would go down. Nobody needs to know about this. Just wipe it off my lips. Nobody needs to know about it. Give me my money. That's the shit these Republicans are like. Do anything for money and power. Look at Lindsey Graham. This dude done flipped over back and forth like a fucking salmon. Been on TV crying for Donald Trump. Also been on TV talking about Donald Trump shouldn't have did this. This man flip-flops like it's nobody's business. I have never met such a spineless human being, and I haven't even met him, but I haven't seen one in my life. Even in movies, I haven't seen somebody so spineless. And that's what they're like. They're a bunch of human beings walking around with zero spine. And how is that a leader? How is that a leader? No spine. You can't stand up because you're spineless. Shit that you believe in and have told people you believed in over decades, you don't believe in anymore because Sir Orange shit is telling you what to do. And you fold. In front of the whole world, you fold. What kind of man or woman are you that you can't stand for nothing you believe in anymore? Because you're afraid? Wow. That's scary. Hey, Mastermind Vibes, I see you. You're afraid. DJ. Georgia going here. All money ain't good money. Come on now. All money ain't good money. I would not take $1 million from the devil just because he gave it to me. There's no way in hell. Because there's something on the other end of that thing is going to want me to do. And that's why all of these people are trapped into Donald Trump. He done incorporated all of them into some dirt, and they can't get out. Exactly what him and Jeffrey Epstein used to do. Get all these people trapped in some kind of dirt, and they got all this evidence to prove you're dirty, you're dirty, you're dirty. Jail you go if you defy me. And that's why they just cannot do it. And you're like, dude, these are moralist people. You guys need to just wipe out all these Republicans and start over. Republicans need to start getting somebody in their group that needs to actually work for the people, stop being so greedy, and go out and talk to your constituents and take over your Republican Party again. Maybe you can do it amongst your people, because Donald Trump, he's sending them to the poorhouse, and these idiots are sitting here liking it. They're drooling over going broke. It's scary. Very scary. All right. But our weaknesses have been shown. Shit's going to happen. Another thing that happened is the Mike Johnson thing. I've never known how people can look you dead in the eye like this, like look you straight in the eye and without a wink, without a tell, just lie. I mean, lie. So much that it's like you're looking at them like, where's his tell at? Because something's up. I got Stephen Miller's tell. I got his tell. He has a little twitch right when he's going to say something just outlandishly a lie. It's a little twitch, like I think it's on the left side. He does a little twitch thing. He does some shit. He twitches his shoulder. Right then, bow. He's about to give you a whopper of a lie. This man, he just lies. I mean, effortlessly. He goes around talking about Miss Mike Johnson. Every time something Donald Trump has done is just beyond reproach. You just know it's just fucked up. Oh, I haven't heard that before. I don't know about that just yet. And what kills me is reporters don't ask about it the next day or the next day or the next day until they heard him here. They don't keep going. That's what kills me about these reporters, yo. You ask them and you round them every day. You ask them, he said, oh, I don't know nothing about that. I haven't heard about that. I haven't heard about it. Okay. Ask him tomorrow. If you haven't heard about it then, ask him the next day. Then ask him the next day. Then ask him, it doesn't seem like you're listening or talking to the president. So why are we talking to you? Because it doesn't seem like you're really the Speaker of the House because you don't know anything. See how that breaks his heart. So are you going to answer the question? Or are you going to sit here and act like you don't know something that you obviously know? That'll get him all pissed off and start moving his lips. But these people are so, just like the reporters, they want to have their position right close to him that they literally are not representing the people like the people want to be represented. Because they're going to get kicked out. It's like, dude, I'd rather you get kicked out asking good questions than to sit there and be a simp and answer these bullshit ass questions that we don't even give two flying shits about. Just so you can stay in the room and ask every once in a while a good fucking question and then resort back to the cave and shit from which you came from. And then next day come out from hibernation and go ask another dipshit ass question we don't give a flying fuck about. Read the room. What are most Americans asking for? Quit making these damn questions up off the top of your head. Ask people. But here's this fool, Mike Johnson, saying his little piece about, I guess, Snap in this situation.
You also have one of the most conservative Republican senators, Josh Hawley, who says, at least please move money around to feed people. Why not consider that?
Because if you deviate from the goal of reopening the entire government, Chuck Schumer and the radicals over there will continue to play games with people's paychecks, their livelihoods. And if you do just part of this, it will reduce the pressure for them to do all of it, to do their bait.
So why help people? Because of the radical Democrats, they'll get a win. We can't have that. It reduced the pressure on them. What pressure, bro? What pressure? I mean, honestly, I'm not pressured at all. And I know a lot of people, friends and family members who are affected by it. I'm affected by the Obamacare shit twice as much. I'm willing to pay that twice as much for a month or two if they can fight to get that shit turned down. Fuck all the bullshit. I ain't gonna sit around here and turn on this. This is the first time fucking the Democrats have showed they had testicles worth of fucking damn. They've been neutered for fucking like 50, 60 years. It's about time they grew a pair and fought. Fight to the death on this one. Shit. I'm with them. Because I'm sick and tired of capitulating and falling over. And a lot of these people out here, I understand that you're not going to be able to eat and all this shit like that. You need to start paying attention to politics. If you just worried about your family and all shit like that, you need to pay attention to politics because the little shit that you want, that's what they're doing. This is the way I'm going to live. I got to find another gig. Go do some, drive your car around the neighborhood or something. Make some extra money. But there is no way in hell, Democrats, you need to stop this shit. I don't care how much people cry. I don't care how much people don't have food to eat. I'm looking at it this way. These people, these Republicans, they don't care. They're laughing at your pain. and you want us to capitulate to the people, it's about time that the people who really give a fuck about people, being the Democrats, stayed the course and got what the people fucking want. And stop capitulating to these whiny ass Democrats that, oh, I don't have, or these whiny ass people. Fuck all that. We are not in the wrong. They are. Donald Trump literally said that one bill passed. They don't need Congress or Senate for nothing for the rest of his presidency. There's something else that we have missed in that bill that is allowing Trump to become a fucking dictator. Stick to your guns, because this man literally thinks this one bill is the only bill they have to pass. Something's in it that's going to fuck Americans' lives up. Keep fighting. And while you keep fighting, dig a little bit more into that bill and figure out what the fuck it is that makes Trump think that he doesn't have to create another fucking bill. House and the Senate no longer need you for the rest of this 4-year tenure or 3 so many years. He said that more than once. So there's something in this bill that is going to destroy America, and you guys may not have found it. You may not be privy to it, but he wants it too bad. So there's something in it that's going to F us royally. Read the tea leaves. There is something in that bill. He wants it way too bad, even to harm his own voters. To gaslight them to think that we put you in power, Trump. We put the House in power for Republicans, the Senate in power for the Republicans. We got the Supreme Court on the Republican side, the majority of it. We got the whole kit and caboodle. And you sit here saying that Democrats are the ones? No, you're supposed to be negotiating, right? You're the head negotiator. Can't you win in this negotiation? Oh, not to negotiate at all is your negotiation. See how terrible he is at this? Stick to your guns, Democrats. Stick to your guns. I'm so sorry for that, Dennis, that you didn't receive it. I got friends who had, they didn't receive theirs either. And I feel sorry for that. But you got to understand, I ain't saying this so you do, but it's a bigger picture. These people are trying to destroy life and democracy, and we're not seeing it. And it's so effed up that the Democrats, like I said, they should be have a subpoena on this Project 2025 documentation that's in the White House teaching these people what to do. It should not be a surprise whenever it just pops up. They need to have it. They need to subpoena it. And if you don't subpoena it, subpoena the people whom it has to get to, and you'll be able to get their documentation and all that stuff like that and say, hand it over. I guarantee you, behind the scenes, they're talking to each other on Signal on how to run our freaking country, and they're doing highly illegal shit on it, and then leaving barely anything for the government. I promise you, if this presidency ends and doesn't become a dictatorship, the next president, if a Democrat, a good Democrat comes in, I promise you, there'll be very few information about what the last presidency actually did while they were in office, because it's all, majority, I'm gonna say all, the majority of it has been done in secrecy, has been done on Signal, and has been deleted. You're gonna trip and see how all this documentation that every president has had, Donald Trump's presidency didn't even have a percentage of that. 10%, 15% of what other presidents have done throughout history, because they're doing a lot of it behind the scenes. Don't take my word for it. Mika Metacroft, who helped write Project 2025, who's in an undercover documentary, a news show that literally has him saying that out of his own fucking mouth. Same with Russell Vogt. Both of them out of their own lips. Nobody's talking for them. They're saying these things exist. They're saying that they're doing it to not be foiable. Freedom of Information Act. They're saying they're doing it behind the scenes, and they said they were going to use some source to do that, and we found out through dipshit from the head of the military. Pete Hegseth. Found out through him. And it was another guy who was actually the one who put the reporter on. But Pete Hegseth was the one speaking about, oh, we're about to drop this and that and third, da 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 da. And just even his own family got that same tweet. And it's just supposed to be on private shit, but it's not. So my question is, on the actual transfer of what they're supposed to tell American people and make as a document, that actual software in which he is supposed to communicate with, did he communicate with people that he was going to do that? Or was it only behind on Signal? Democrats, we need you to do your job. Be investigators, because you ain't got nothing else to do. You ain't getting really shit done because they're in control. You need to be behind the scenes investigating, and there's a shit ton of you. You can have 2 or 3 people on a team, and all of you could be on 15, 14, whatever fucking teams doing investigations on all of these people. Do the American people's work, please. I'm glad you can make up the loss, Dennis, because we need to fight. They need to fight this shit, and I'm happy how they're fighting so far, but I really need them to be focused. I'm not really happy at everything. I'm happy at certain things, like them fighting for the House and everything like that, fighting for this against this big beautiful bill. But they need to be also doing behind the scenes of this Project 2025. That's a major thing they need to be focused on, and it worries me. All right. So Mike Johnson was talking about the tariffs. Now here about the tariffs, but about the was it? Oh, he was talking about his thing is dealing with the food in SNAP, and the thing that's so crazy is it's $9 billion a month for SNAP. $9 billion. Okay, basically $108 billion a year for the budget. They have an account, like, just in case anything happens, just for this specific reason. If the government shut down, this side account is supposed to suffice or actually extend this particular program, SNAP, forever long it's in that account. There's $5 billion in it. That right there will at least give another 2 weeks, somewhere around there, about 2 more weeks extended. They can pay people right now and get 2 weeks extended. That's what the money's there for. That's exactly what the money's there for. And they're not using it. Yet they want to blame Democrats. They don't need Democrats to make that happen. That's just a straight up, majority vote. Use that money, 51 over 50. Well, in the House is different. That'd be the Senate. But the Senate will pass it. Republicans will pass it. They need a majority in the House. They have the majority. They're not doing anything. How is it the Democrats' fault there, SE Cup? How would that be the Democrats' fault? It's not. Bothers me, man, when people, and again, she could be right, because again, they don't deal in facts. They deal in psychoticness or some shit. It's just fucking insane, the shit that they deal with. It's like, I don't know what you guys deal in, but there's too many of them that are cohesive around crazy stuff. So maybe she speaks crazy better than I do. So amongst the Republicans, they're going to lose. Meaning the Democrats are going to lose this one. But amongst sane folk, hell no. They ain't losing. And if they do, they might as well pack their bags up and leave right the fuck now. We don't need you in there. But that was Mike Johnson telling us about, Democrats are the ones who are at fault. He's going to keep saying that, but we're not delusional. Your people are, and we can't be led with just bullshit, non-factual, just stare into a camera and lie, and everybody's going to believe you because you go to church and watch porn with your black son. Whatever. The next thing, dealing with, well, not even the next thing. I had to look up how much the prices of things have went up because of what Donald Trump did with tariffs and all that. And having to deal with tariffs going up, things costing more, and then the food stamps or SNAP gone. And then you start to think about how much are things up? The prices are up. Because Donald Trump is always out there telling you, oh, prices are down, prices are down. They're not. I saw this map, and I also saw it on MSNBC. I want to say All In by Chris, I forgot his last name. But this is what was also on his show, but I got the original. And it shows as of July. We know it's gotten worse since July. But as of July, what has happened with the price of products and food? And this right here will give you a better understanding if you can see it. I don't know how small it is on your screen. I want to get on a big screen. But just look at, if you can find your state on here. Mine is California, 5.4% higher as of July. He didn't pull out this tariff shit until like April. May, June, July. In 3 months, it went up 5.4%. And they said, oh, it's not going to go up. It went up in 3 months to 5.4%. Then you can look at Florida. It went up 6.4% in 3 months. This is before this is when we were still getting high, not necessarily high, but average jobs improvement. It was like we were getting it was going up steadily, going to, pretty much staying the same. But little did we know, the revision came and they dropped like crazy. But it appeared that the jobs were coming in pretty much the same, kind of steadily the same. And Jerome Powell was telling us, we got to watch out. He didn't want to raise or lower the interest rates and things of that nature. Donald Trump wanted him to. At that time, when things were still looking kind of good, but we didn't know what was going to happen, we didn't have bad job numbers. With non-bad job numbers, it went up 5.4 in California, 8.2 in Pennsylvania, 6.4 in Florida. It hasn't gotten better. It is literally, the jobs dropped dramatically after July, well after July. Our last 2 months ago, that shit dropped dramatically. We lost jobs. Last month, we ain't even seen yet. If we got jobs, Donald Trump would have put that shit out there. Even though we're still closed, he would put it out. He knows the numbers. He's just never going to put them out. You think his boy that's inside that group that he put inside the Fed, the Federal Reserve, you think that his boy hasn't told him what the numbers are? Of course he has. That's why they're not allowing this shit to come out. And then this month, it's going to go down again. Jerome Powell figured as much. He doesn't have the numbers, but he figured as much. That's why he lowered the interest rate again by 0.5. Half a point. This is a lot, ladies and gentlemen. It's not good. But he had to do it because he's still like, if it was anything consistently like it was the previous month that we got numbers, and he has no reason not to believe that. And trust me, he probably called all these people up that send this information in and got numbers of his own and kind of measured it himself, because otherwise he wouldn't be doing his due diligence. And therefore, he must have some kind of insight that more than likely we lost jobs again. So all this happening, going down before this right here, before the job market started going down. So when the job market went down, this shit went up. You know it did. I can't wait to see the numbers on this again, but this was as of July. So we're all sitting here waiting to see how this country is faring right now. And Donald Trump, when we going through all this shit, this fool's trying to build a gold-plated dance hall for $350 million. He ain't thinking about helping people. He's thinking about getting a ballroom so his thick ass ankles, call them thankles, his thankles can be out there barely moving. Why would he build that? Why would he care about something like that when who's going to be the fuck in it? This man's got a good 5 years of life, if that. The way he eats, I give him less than 8 months. He wants this. It won't be built while this man is still walking this earth. I honestly believe that. The way he eats and the shit, he going to the doctor twice a year for heart issues and getting MRIs and shit. Bruh, you on your way out more than you on your way in. And you're going to build something that's going to take years that you may not even live to see being done. And you're going to ask $320 million for what? You could be asking $320 million for Snap. It tells you where his priorities are. The people are hurting, and this dude's talking about building monuments for himself. Not only is he talking about building this monument, this fool done already got a 3D drawing or toy that shows that he wants this type of tower or whatever the fuck it is that's supposed to be called Trump Tower. Not tower, but what's it called? Some kind of arc. And it's going to be the Arc of Trump or some shit. But he's like, oh, I'm not going to call it that. I'll call it something else. He's talking about building another building. Where the fuck that one's going to be at? What is he tearing down to build that? He going on this like building spree without permission. Who's gave him right to do any of this shit? Nobody. He hasn't gone through any of the protocol. The House, the Senate, and they say yay. House has the purse. They say yay. He could do it. Nobody's been asked. Just woke up one morning and saw the shit already being bulldozed. Right? I don't know either, Rude. Who didn't play Janet? So, all this increase in the price of food and other items, our farmers, be it soybean or be it wild or cattle farming or whatever, they're losing money. Well, cattle farmers, ranchers, whatever, they were making money. And then Donald Trump ended up giving some $20 billion with another investment of another $20 billion, and then giving them access. We're going to buy their beef, I guess. Now, there was another person that came out, I can't remember his name right now. He was saying that it really isn't that big. Their beef that we're buying from Argentina is not a substantial enough amount that it would actually F with the American, beef that we sell. Well, I would love for that person to have a conversation with the farmers and the farmers organizations, and the let's sneeze here, the cattle ranchers, because they ain't having it. They highly pissed because they're like, finally we get paid a good amount, and now we got to compete with Argentina. Maybe they don't know exactly how big it's going to be. Excuse me. Because, again, Donald Trump and all them aren't really good at giving you numbers. They just say they're going to do something and people think it's going to get done. And when it gets done, there's no format of how it should get done that nobody knows about. House doesn't know about it. Senate doesn't know about it. I promise you it's all on Signal. And it gets done. And they're like, how's it get done? We ain't got any paperwork, nothing. Because they're doing it behind the scenes, Democrats. Democrat leaders, you need to either find somebody who has Signal that they put on the list and you know, get that hacked or get that get a subpoena for it, snatch their phones up like you did, like Biden did those people. Snatch their phones up. Once you snatch their phones up, I promise you, you'll find this stuff that they're doing. Because it's behind the scenes. They said they was going to do it. This is not me making it up. This is literally what they said they was going to do. Masterman Vice said he should have been gone. The pharmaceutical company must have some super shit to keep him alive. 100%. This China was not approved by China. It is another concept of a deal. Yeah, so I don't know what's going on with all this stuff that they're gonna like. I don't see how they see they're winning. I don't know their strategy because everything's falling the fuck apart. That maybe that's winning for them, but they can't keep falling apart and you not give people some kind of like understanding that you got their backs. They can't be losing their farms and you're trying to tell them their soybeans. I don't know how long soybeans last. I don't. So maybe it's you know, it may last years or something, and therefore, thank you, DJ, for bless you. Maybe it's something that they can continue to sell even though, but again, it's going to be less than half of what they bought before. So I don't know the priorities, but it appears that you're not going to be able to get what you had last year, what you expected, seeing as how 50% of the soybeans that are bought from America went to China. So I don't know if you guys sold them for cheaper to other countries, but whomever has some left, they're buying supposedly. You know how Donald Trump stuff is. They say they're doing it. 2 days later, it's off the shelf. China be like, I never said that. Never did that. So you never know. But get in where you fit in, I guess. Few more things. One, Kash Patel. This fool went around telling, if you remember seeing him on different podcasts, his own podcast, talking about Christopher Wray and all these other people going to places on private jets. Thank you, Nina, for the donation. Going to places on private jets, going to different events and venues, and was like, they don't need to do that. And it was all against it, just going crazy about it, screaming and yelling about it all the time. He was constantly talking about these people are corrupt because they're using the government tools to do whatever they want with it, and doing personal stuff with it, and it's illegal and it should be wrong and they should be investigated. Kash Patel has been going out on jets, his jet that they have him. He's been going out, not doing the people's business. No, going to football or baseball games with celebrities. His new girlfriend, whom I guess is some kind of singer of some sort. She's a musician, lady. They went to a game, I guess, and she was singing an anthem or whatever it may be. He flew there. It wasn't his home, nowhere. He doesn't have a house there. He flew there just to see the game be with her, and then flew back. And it coordinates with his flight log, but he didn't. He wasn't transparent about it. Let's just put it that way. They had to dig and find it. He was the one bitching and moaning and saying it was highly illegal. All right? Hypocrites. It turns out they were jealous this entire time. They didn't think what they were doing, Christopher Wray and all them, was illegal. They were jealous that they couldn't do it. Because obviously he's doing it. If he had any kind of moral, actually fiber in his body, he would be like repulsed by that. No, can't do that. Can't do that. I have morals. I bitched and moaned at Christopher Wray and all these other people doing it, and I was really serious about it. I would never do it. He's doing it now. Tells you he never, MAGA, he never believed in any fucking word he said to y'all. Y'all was just giving him money just because he was feeding your idiocy, your feelings. And out here doing the exact same thing, even worse. Christopher Wray didn't take no girlfriend or wife anywhere. It's crazy. That was him. And then Pam Bondi gets two, not one, two jets, 172 altogether, or $72 million a piece, one of the two. I'm sitting there like, are you fucking kidding me? There wasn't something for her to travel in prior to? That you got to buy two new jets? What? When it goes out of gas, she rides her second one? What the fuck is that? That doesn't make any sense. People aren't even eating. You're not taking care. You haven't brought anything down. I thought you were about wasteful spending. And here you are firing all these military people, all these government people. Million jobs gone. And instead of paying down your bills or paying down the debt, you're spending $100-something million, whatever, on two fucking jets for what? You're letting jet fuel be put into a plane for cockeyed Kash Patel to go to a concert with his girlfriend? Our money. This fool is rich already. Can't he use his own shit? On his own time? Boy. You get one set of dipshits out, another set of dipshits in, man. I don't know, boy. You can never. Yeah, I don't know, but they need to find out. They need to find out, Alice, what they got on Signal, because they literally, that's what I understand. They literally said that's what they were going to do, and why they haven't subpoenaed that, I don't get. Only thing I can think of is Democrats are doing dirty shit too on Signal. And therefore, they don't want their shit exposed, so they're letting them have theirs. I don't know. I really don't know. Something ain't right. They're not. I mean, how am I over here being like Inspector Gadget on this shit, and they fucking can't figure it the fuck out? I mean, how are they not seeing this? It's clear as fucking day. They said they were doing this shit behind the scenes. They didn't want it foilable. That alone should bring up some red flags and should say something's highly illegal, that they don't want the government or the people, because they're doing the people's work. They don't want the people to see what they're doing. What do you call that, ladies and gentlemen? You call that a deep state. So they literally created everything they said that the Democrats were doing. They literally created themselves. Wow. I hope it ain't bankrupt either, Alice. Oh, this is the last thing I'm gonna touch on. And your boy's gonna go get something to eat. Donald Trump, another one of his losses, let's just say America's losses, is Donald Trump's eagerness to be like other leaders and not realize that we've already surpassed those leaders in a sense on a global scale. We've already surpassed them. Not trying to be, arrogant or anything like that, but just on the global scale, we are the dollar, right? We're the powerful ones. We have the weaponry. We're always the ones they look up to. We already appear to be the one to fuck with. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't want to cross, but you want to fuck with us, like hang with us, right? We've already had that for fucking centuries, I would say, right? At least for decades, because in 1948, somewhere around there, the end of the World War II, that's when we became like a superpower. So let's just say since 1948 or whatever, we've been the ish. And these fools are going out here doing shit that makes us look like we're not the ish. Like, for instance, when you see the military of other countries going out and doing their marching and shit and looking all turn left and right and, you know, all pageantry shit. I mean, I'm saying, when you see that, that's looking tough. Looking tough. And it looks more like they're dancing than they're actually marching. It looks like a pageantry. It's fluff. It means nothing. Other than the fact that they sat around and trained how to do that for 6 weeks or whatever before they got in front of their leader because they didn't want to die. Because they're under a dictatorship. Then Donald Trump wants one. And he didn't recognize that our military wasn't going to look nothing near that way. Again, don't try something that we are already feared for to make us look stupid. And what did he do? He took our military and put them out and had a parade, thinking that our parade was going to beat their parade. They've been doing this shit since the beginning of fucking time. We don't do it. And he thought one training of American citizen military was going to come out there and put shame to militaries around the world that do this shit like on an every year basis, and they train for this shit like gymnasts. So on a world scale, the way you look at it, we look tired, old, not wanting to be there, unpatriotic, so to speak, if you want to look at these things being patriotic from another person's perspective, another country's perspective. And the reason why we didn't do it is because we showed power without ever having to do that simp shit. So Donald Trump, always wanting to like one up somebody, doesn't realize that we were already 10 steps up. But once he showed what we can do is on the pageantry phase, and we look awful. I mean, god awful. Not because of the military men and women. It's because they're not used to that shit, and they should never have to do that. We were already ahead on that, y'all. We don't need to do something that other people already look up to us. We're going to do something that's going to make us look bad. That right there made us look terrible on the world stage. Ha ha ha, look what they shit. That shit was dumpy and stupid. They all heavy footed and nobody, there's so many people that were out of sync. They're terrible. Fighting wise, killer. Terrible. Ooh, that shit. They need to stop that. Then that led to Donald Trump disrespecting, and Pete Heck said, our military, and calling them fat and out of shape and all this other shit because they want them to look like those military men and women who are pageantry people. You know what I'm saying? I know they're military people, but I'm saying they train for this pageantry shit. And so they want their military people to do it. Trust me. Next 2 or 3 years, they're going to try and get them in shape. They're going to audition for people. So, made us look bad. And then, this fool goes overseas to China, Asia. He ends up, I think his last trip was China, whatever. And he comes back, or even before he came back, I think he ordered it. He ordered nuclear weapon, like, not necessarily training, but I guess it's training. But he ordered that. Testing. Nuclear weapon testing. Why? Again, America is feared all around the globe. Our technology is real and also mythic. And you want that mythicness, that's not a word, to remain. Why? We're the only country that is literally through a nuclear weapon, an atom bomb, nuclear weapon on Japan or any other country. Nobody else has put it on any other country in war at all. We're the only ones who've done it. And since we have been the one to fear of it, and we have been the ones that go around other countries and help regulate it so that it doesn't have any that can come over to America and the distance and all that. And we don't have to prove ourselves because we've already done it. Now, these other countries who are testing their nuclear weapons, they are enamored by our technology, which they haven't really seen a lot of, just heard about. And you want that kind of edge because of surprise. You don't know what America got, but them motherfuckers crazy, whatever, right? You want to keep that air. This dipshit wants to go and do testing. Guess what that does to us, America? It makes us weaker. Why? Because the shit that we're going to be testing, Donald Trump's going to want it to be the biggest, the baddest, the baddest. It's going to be our best shit. And guess what? When it's tested, they're watching. Satellite, balloons, all that. They're going to test and see. Just like when they doing the testing, we're like, oh, we can't make it to America. Look at it, it's starting to tail off. When they see the testing of our shit, some of that mystic part is going to fall the fuck off. And they're going to look at, wait a minute, that rocket only went that far. That's the one that's supposed to be able to go far, far. It just went out to the ocean. The fuck? When they start seeing the trajectory of it and things like that, they're going to start saying, oh, this is this type of rocket. And they're going to watch it over and over again and start to learn what our technology can and cannot do. They will find our weaknesses. See, the air of not having to do it, even though we tested more than any of them, we've tested the nuclear weapons more than any of them combined. We don't have to prove ourselves anymore. The last time we did something like that was in the 90s. Learned our lesson, stopped it. Everybody else is like enamored and afraid. Donald Trump wanted to make a military because he said we got the best military, and we all believe that. But we don't have the best, like, pageantry military. That's not what they're there for. And so we went on the world stage and we looked bad. Perception, right? Not necessarily fact, but perception is key in the situation. Perceived by other people, our military was weak. In my mind, at dancing. In their mind, at being a military. They're not unified. They're not even into this. They're not afraid of their leader. Weakness, 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 weakness. Why? Why put us on that type of stage to make us look weak when everybody believes we're the strongest? See, the strongest doesn't have to pull off any kind of gadget or pageantry. You just sit back and enjoy your strongness. You know what I'm saying? You're the leader of the pack. Do you see the alpha male out there trying to prove that he can beat your ass? No, he just stare you down and look at you like, that was cute. But you ain't my level yet. See, that's what America should stay at. You're not at my level. See, Donald Trump is giving away so many different things. One is weakness. He wants what other people have. Well, the problem is that America already got it. They're doing testing because they're showing off. They're at the beginning stages of even learning how to use this technology. We're the masters at it. We don't have to prove shit. We sip in the cut and say, that's kind of cute. It went up, fell. Yeah, that was cute. Yeah, you ain't nowhere near this technology. But hey, keep doing it. Let me see what you got going. The king of war, so to speak, doesn't have to bow down to the paupers of war. And this fool is acting like a simp, running around. Oh, well, they're testing their military weapons. Let's test ours. Let's test ours. Let's do it. No, let's not. We got more to lose in the game by it. And because you're so caught up in competition with them, you're not paying attention that you're giving away our secrets. We know our shit works. We do the simulation of it and all. Our military men and women know that they work. We ain't got no worries about whether they work or not. We don't need to be showing our shit to everybody 24/7. It makes us weaker, not stronger. Every president, even George Bush Jr., who was a bona fide dipshit too, but Donald Trump makes him look like a fucking genius. He knew that, but even then, the person who literally did I think the testing is either his father or Bill Clinton. I can't remember. It was in the 90s. I don't believe it was George Bush. I gotta look it up. Because he was still in the 90s too. I think it was in the 96 to 2000. No, he wasn't, because he had 2008. So he was like 2000. So it had to be Clinton or George Bush Jr. or Sr. Why would we put ourselves out there to show people? Because once we have a failure of something happening, that shit's going to be all over the globe. United States, what is it called? I can't name an actual weapon that's but anyway, but we just say nuclear weapon. United States nuclear weapon, pure dud. It falls apart over Pacific Ocean. One dud takes the shine off of everything we done built up for fucking years. The protection, everything. It gives other countries hope. Oh, this shit don't even work. Let's see what that next one looks like. Oh shit, they haven't even protected this one yet. This is the one that everybody's afraid of. It ain't even protected. It's falling apart. Then we lose. That's why military men and women, none of that shit becomes like personal, public. They do this shit behind the scenes. This fool's gonna want it recorded and shot and produced and put out there. And it's gonna show the world. He want to compete with him. He's gonna call up President Xi. He's gonna call up the leader of North Korea. He's gonna call up other countries that have, look what ours can do. And they're gonna take all that information and find out what ours cannot do. And they're gonna give this little dipshit, oh wow, you guys are great. You're so much ahead of us. And he's gonna be like, thought so. We're better than you. I thought so. In reality, they're like, tell that fool whatever he wants to hear, get him all excited. But we're about to manufacture this exact same shit. Yeah. Their scientists are getting there, be like, oh, it's shooting out red, so it's got to be nitrous in there. They're going to figure it the fuck out. We got shit that nobody knows that we even got. Don't even know the name of, and this fool's going to be out there trying to shoot it just so he can prove, look at what we got. It makes us weaker, not stronger. The mystic or the mystery behind it, that makes us even more stronger. And this fool wants to expose what makes us safe, what keeps us safe. Jesus. And nobody around him, like somebody said earlier, is smart enough to tell this man, can't do it, boss. Why? Just can't. We are already light years ahead of everybody, and some of this stuff is just mystical. It's a myth. We don't really have this or that. They literally don't know, so we don't need to give that away. We got the power now. Let's keep it. We don't have to stoop down to their level. We don't have to prove nothing. They already know we don't blow up Japan. And we ain't got no problem blowing up other people. Let's just leave this one in the bag. But I want it. I want to be able to see it. I want to record it. Like a little fucking kid. We are not safe as this man being president. Point blank, period. He never thinks shit through. And we need a president that thinks shit through, because trust me, if our president's not thinking it through and the people who are working for him are not thinking it through, you best believe the countries that hate us are thinking this shit through. I'm just saying. We can't win with an idiot. These people in other countries are way too smart. And Donald Trump is holding us back. The years that he's in the presidency, I promise you, China's going to surpass us by fucking leaps and bounds. These other countries that he loves so much, the dictatorships, economically going to surpass us by leaps and bounds. That BRICS shit that everybody's talking about that they don't want to turn into whatever, the dollar, oh, by leaps and bounds. This is the time for these other countries to grow and leave American dollar behind, because they know they got an idiot that accepts gifts as long as it's got gold in it, and they could totally sucker him. Donald Trump got a gold gift from President Xi and ended up making a deal that lost $1 million, like, I don't know, the cubic inches or whatever the fuck it is, $1 million, as far as like we was getting 26, now we're getting 25. Right? It's crazy. And Donald Trump got a gold gift, and America lost. He's walking around trying to get celebration. Celebrate me. Celebrate me. Look what I did. You didn't do shit. You lost. Participation trophy. That's what we got. A participation trophy president. Where's the lie? He cares more about pageantry than he cares about reality. Right, DJ? Oh, the missile Texas diva. That fool have his little marker pointing out, this is where it landed, and it went boom. Man is not bright, y'all. Lock him in an insane asylum and keep him away from nuclear weapons, right? They need to give him the wrong numbers to the nuclear weapons. Big time. But, all right, ladies and gentlemen. That's pretty much enough I have to say about that man and our society today. We do have to fix a lot of things. A lot of things. Thank everybody. Thanks for the donations. See if I got here. And that was Nina. Thank you very much for your donation. I appreciate it. Everybody knows I keep talking about it. Avid Solutionists, we're working on that. Creating opportunities for us all. Not having to rely on government so much, but relying on each other. I look at it this way. If politicians' job is to divide us, then Americans, it's our job to unite us. Because I'm tired. I spent too many years of just my whole life, since I was 18 voting, just going against the grain. Electing people that was always just fighting over shit and never getting anything done. Spending years in getting hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, some of them investing millions of dollars and making money in their positions, while American citizens are missing out, going broke, losing jobs, losing industries, things cost more and therefore they're having to get multiple jobs. It's just so much of the American people being effed over and forced to like fight each other instead of unite. And so good people that want the best for them and their families, as well as the American family, all of us are in this together. If somebody was to bomb us right now, we would all have to join hands and fight to keep this country the way we love it, as a democracy. Right now, I see Donald Trump and his minions, they're bombing this country. They're bombing it with lies, deception, and dictatorship. They are the enemy, 100%. Make no mistake about it. They do not love America. If they did, they'd be taking care of America. They do everything they can to take care of Americans. But you'll see them say, range from these welfare people, they need to get a job, they need to get off their ass. And I'm like, Scott Jennings even said that, like, get off their ass. He literally asked a question. This is a few months back. He asked a question when Abby Phillips said to him, "Who these poor people? They're doing this." And he goes, "Who is these poor people? These immigrants? These people who don't want to work and they're able-bodied and they can work?" And I was like, wow. And Abby Phillip, and nobody that I didn't get to see the whole thing, but from the moment I saw it, I didn't hear nobody interrupt him. I didn't see the whole show, so I don't know what you guys said. But what I rarely see, like for Scott Jennings when they do this stuff, when he said that, you should have told him, Scott, you do know that white people, just everyday white people, are on welfare more than any other race. So this disrespect you have for them, calling them immigrants, I'm like, immigrants aren't on it as much as white people. And this disrespect that you have for people who are poor, that you cast it only on to people of color because you don't think they deserve it. But if you casted it on poor white people, you wouldn't be able to say the shit you say. Because why? Because that's the people that he represents. He's from Kentucky. And there's a high fucking... in Kentucky, it's higher percentage of poverty than pretty much every state. Then the national average, and national average is like 16-something%. It's over 20-something, 26%. In Kentucky, where he lives, where he's from. Just the city that he's from, town that he's from, whatever. 16-something%. He's the poor area guy who made good and came out, worked for CNN and all those other places. But he more than likely knew these poor white people growing up on welfare. And he's out on television and all over the place when they talk about poor people, talking about it like it's black people and Latin people and people of color and people who just don't want to work. He never brings up that it's white people that are on it the most, because it wouldn't work. The conversation would die right then and there, because people that look like him will be the problem that he's always pushing on people that look like me. How don't people just bring out to him and say, you know what? Welfare wasn't even created for black people. It was created for poor white people. After the crash, stock crash in like 1929 or something like that, after that came back around 1939, 30 somewhere in there, they created it. Black people weren't allowed to get on it until 1968. And that was just a few, full on 1970. So for 30 years, white people are the only people who received this welfare. They didn't call it welfare then. They called it like taking care of their people. It didn't get called welfare and welfare people and all that shit until people of color got a chance to get on it. Then it became a horrible thing. Then it got painted a black thing. No, welfare is a white thing, always has been. It's something that black people got let on 30 years after it was started. Why don't they bring that shit up on Abby Phillip when Scott Jennings says his bullshit about who are these poor people? These poor people are you, bro. These poor people are we. All of us know somebody who's dealing with that, if we haven't dealt with it before in our life at one point or another. So judging people and making it a bad thing by painting a black face on it, yeah. And Scott Jennings says he's not racist. Then why do you make being on welfare seem like it's a horrible thing and only like degenerate people get on it, and you start bringing up race and immigration and immigrants, but you don't bring up white people who look like you, because you can't demonize white, because that's who you are. 100%. Cut Scott Jennings out in a heartbeat. What's up, Uncle Fatty? So yeah, it bothers me when they do this. I would be on that show in a heartbeat, telling him I wouldn't even come on. They'd be asking me something else. I'm like, they're like, so Drew, what do you think about Snap, whatever? Nah, Scott Jennings, I gotta say something, Scott Jennings. You racist, bro. And I don't care what any of these people here say. I know y'all all collect a check and all this stuff like that and be cool with him, but he racist as hell. And I don't understand how any black person here just lets this man sit here and say the shit he says. And then don't call him out to be racist. Just because you go out to dinner and have coffee with him, you're one of the most acceptable Negroes that he'll hang out with, but he talks shit about people when it's all his people that are on welfare more than anybody. But you don't see black people going around saying, man, these white people, man, they always broke. They on welfare. And they're sucking from the teat. They're taking my tax dollars. We need to stop that. You don't see black people doing that shit. Only racist white ones that say they aren't racist, but have slapped a black or brown face on something that they take part in more than any other race. By the millions. It's just fucking, it's a lie for one I can't stand. And why are you doing it? You say you're not racist. Obviously you are. Because you don't choose your own race to prove the point. Because you can't. It doesn't give you leverage. It doesn't separate you from what you consider to be the worst people who are on welfare. If they look like you can't really diss them. And they won't vote for you. Ugh, I can't stand these people. Anyway, much love to all y'all. I'm about to get up out of here. I've had a wonderful time seeing you guys today. What did I happen to do here? And look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow. Tomorrow is what? Friday? Time be flying, yo. I just came back from out of town. Yeah, tomorrow's Friday. So I see you guys on Friday, same time, same channel. Looking forward to it. Trying to fix this thing up here. There we go. You guys have a good night. Be safe. Hopefully you learned something, or at least I've learned something from listening and reading what you guys have said. Avid Solutionist, go follow it. Still working on it, but when I'm ready, I'm gonna go ahead and launch it. Probably by the beginning of next year, if I live. You never know. You never promise anything. So you guys take it easy. I'll see you when I see you.